I'm doing great, Jermaine. Welcome to the Real Estate Corner. My name is Shad Bogany. I'm host of the Real Estate Corner. I'm here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15. I come into your homes on 15.10 digital TV on Iconic TV on Saturday morning at 9. And I come back in on Sunday night at 8 p.m. If you're driving in your car, you're listening to the Real Estate Corner. We're here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15. This show is brought to you by American Title over at 5802 Val Verde. And also, we have Prosperity Bank, one of our sponsors, who has the best loan program, hands down, than anybody out there in the city. Any loan program that's available, they have the best program. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer to use their program. You can refinance your house on your program. And so I want to thank Prosperity Bank for allowing us to continue to put this show on. The numbers here again are 281-837-2222. We don't have a guest tonight. We're going to have an open line. And I'd like to have a very frank conversation with you, the audience, on home ownership. We touched on it a little bit last week when I had the Real Chicks on real estate. They were here on the show, and I want to thank those young ladies for coming in to see our show and do it with us. But I've got some concerns about home ownership in our community, and I wanted to have a conversation with you about it, very frank. People who know me will tell you I'm a very frank person. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. And I'd like for you to participate in this frank conversation about home ownership. The numbers are 281-837-2222. That's 281-837-2222. Give us a call. Our show is also being produced by Crystal Holmes here in the studio. And then we've got Jermaine producing over on the radio side down in Baytown. The numbers here again, 281-837-2222. All our lines are open. You know you can subscribe to this channel on the YouTube channel, the Real Estate Corner channel. And I'm going to encourage you to go out and subscribe to the channel. If you miss a show, you can catch it. If you want to look at what we've talked about in the past, it's all on that YouTube channel. And we talk about so many different subjects in regards to real estate. It's an ever involving business. It's changing constantly. There's so many new players, so many new business models, so many people buying homes out there in this marketplace. So let's get right into the show. Let me give the numbers out again, 281-837-2222. You can also catch us on 96.9 FM. I forgot to mention that, 96.9 FM, or you can go to kwwj.org and you can listen to this show streaming anywhere in the world at this time. My name is Shad Bogany. I am a broker associate with Gary Green, Better Homes and Gardens Gary Green, and I want to congratulate the company. They just merged with Heritage Texas Properties. This is just unbelievable that now Better Homes and Gardens Gary Green has become the largest company in the city of Houston with the largest market share by merging the number one company, which is Better Homes and Gardens Gary Green, and the number 5 company. And I would say that if I wasn't working at Better Homes and Gardens Gary Green, the next stop I'd probably be with at Heritage Texas. And so they have merged together, and what that has become, and I think it's a great merger because it's about culture. And I think their culture is the same as Better Homes and Gardens of Gary Green. So I want to welcome the Heritage Texas realtors and management all on board. And I just think things are just going to grow in this new marriage. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. In our real estate notes sections, I've got several things I want to talk about. My feature home of the week. We've got a property located at 4515 Arbor Lane. This is a townhome, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 2,200 square feet. Sits on a lot of 3,178 square feet lot. This beautiful townhome is in Village Grove East. It's simply gorgeous, and it's one of these rarities that you have the master down. The master is down. Did you hear me? We have the master down. in here, and it has a large living room, formal dining, large eat-in kitchen with a breakfast room and a breakfast bar. All the auxiliary bedrooms are upstairs. If the unit is not, it is the largest unit in the complex, and it's got a great flow. Game room is upside, so yeah, it has a master down, game room upstairs with 3 other bedrooms. So it has 2 living areas, 2 dining areas. How often do you see this in a townhome? And a very low maintenance fee. No neighbors behind you, a large patio. This property is at 4515 Arbor Lane and is listed for $200,000, and it's very low maintenance fee. Let's go ahead and take our first caller that we have on the air. Let's go ahead and take this caller. Hello. Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. How are you this evening? And thanks for calling.
Oh, I'm fine, and yourself?
All righty.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay.
A month ago, I think I called you, and you gave me Prosperity's number. And I called them, but I didn't get pre-approved.
Okay.
And I thought maybe you may have, I thought I heard once before that you have somebody that help you to work with your credit or do something, help you in doing your credit.
Yes. So what I'm going to ask you to do, and thank you for calling, give me a call off the air at 713-667-1000. And what I want to do is hear what Prosperity told you, and let's talk about what's wrong so then we can point you in the right direction.
Okay, give me the number again, 713.
667-1000.
Okay, 667-1000.
Yes, ma'am. Give me a call tomorrow. Yes, ma'am, and I will return your call. And what I would like to do is just talk to you intimately about what's going on, and then I have a better idea. It's so hard when you're on the radio to be able to hear the real details. So give me a call off the air tomorrow, and I will, if I'm not in the office, I will return your phone call.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for listening. The numbers again, 713-667-1000. If you are looking for a realtor, you need to give me a call. That is the office. I work with Better Homes and Gardens, Gary Green. I'm in the Bel Air's office. The numbers here is 281-837-2222. Yes, I want to have a frank conversation with you in regards to home ownership. And, you know, I've been thinking about this, and I wanted to talk about several things that are happening in home ownership. The first thing I'd like to cover with you is that September 1, title policy fees went down 4.9%. I guess they're not having to pay out as much on title policies, so the title policy fee dropped 4.9%. Just save you some money if you are a seller or refinancing your home. Secondly, interest rates are holding pretty low. They're anywhere I've seen from 3.65 to 4%, just depending on what your situation is, and a lot depends on what your credit score is. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that I saw this article in the Houston Chronicle this morning in regards to entry-level homes and new construction. It's up probably 5 to 6, 7% of new construction on entry-level homes, and prices will continue to rise. A lot of that has to do with the labor costs, concrete costs, the framing cost of buying a new home. And the thing that I'd like for you to keep in mind on most of this is that between 2015 and 2019, only 1.8% of the homes that were built new construction were affordable. Where on the other side of luxury, it was up to 13.5% on that end. One out of every one out of every home that's being purchased is being purchased by institutional investors. So they're not necessarily buying new home construction, they're primarily buying resale homes. And so what we have in an affordability situation, we don't have enough homes to satisfy the desire, especially at this low interest rate. And then we've got institutional hedge funds buying homes in bulk and then renting them out at $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 a pop a month and up. And the reason they're doing this because they're not getting paid any money, having this money in the bank, very little return on the money. So why not go purchase it in a home and then turn around and rent it out to you? So new home construction on affordability is really down. The prices are up. I was sharing with someone the other day that a new home construction price probably starting somewhere at about 190. There are some isolated places that you could go into some designated areas that I've seen new home construction as low as 125. It's whether or not you want to live in that particular neighborhood. Some of these are neighborhoods that the city has been working on getting, they want to revitalize, get them up. And some of them are not inside the loop, and some of them are outside the loop. And so we're seeing a change where new construction in the suburbs almost automatically are going to be starting at about 190. I have seen some out on the east side of town near Baytown as high as starting as low as 170, 165, 170. You're probably talking 1,100, 1,200 square feet. So the change, if it's inside the loop, you're going to be, unless it's some special program, you're going to be looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of about 200,000 starting at least, unless it's some special program that's out there. And those have been lately like needles in a haystack out there. City has tried to do some things with their new program where you don't own the land, but you own the houses. You own the house, and that program is out there. It has started slow. You've got to have lenders. You've got to get people in that mindset of home ownership from a point that you don't own the land. You own a lease for 99 years, but you own the house. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. All our lines are open. We've got Linda on line one. Let's take Linda. Hi, Linda.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
I just got a question for you. I normally listen on Tuesdays.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a particular number, the bank that you use for pre-approvals or loans?
Yes, if you call me off the air, I'll give you the guy, Jose Oxy. And while we're on, let me see if I can give you Jose's direct number right quick. Man, this precious airtime here. Let me see if I can give you his number.
Well,
Jose,
if you like,
let me give you.
give me your office number, and I can call you so we can get other callers in if you like.
Well, I just found his number. Let me give it to you.
Okay.
832-419-1145. Tell him I gave it to you and asked you to call him. Did you try the 1-800 number? The 1-8?
I did. I tried the 1-800 number, and I actually didn't get anyone to call me back. So
Okay.
I was wondering
Well,
if that was a particular one.
call Jose and let him know that you made a phone call, and that's the reason you're calling him on this number.
Okay, and I appreciate that. But I'm sorry, would you repeat his number one more time for me, please?
Okay, let's see. Jose, 832-419-1145. Jose works out of the Spring Branch location, but he works the whole city. And
I don't live that far from Spring Branch, so that's quite well.
all right, 832-419-1145, and tell him you heard it on the Real Estate Corner.
I shall give him a call on tomorrow.
All righty, thank you.
And I thank you for taking my call on this afternoon. And you have a good evening.
All righty, continue to keep listening. The numbers here are 281-837-2222. My name is Shad Bogany. All our lines are open. And tonight, we're going to have a frank conversation about home ownership. And I really would like your input. I don't want to just be talking to myself. I'd like to know what your thoughts are. And we're going to go into several details about it. But I'm going to start off that Congressman Al Green, who's in the Congressional District number 9, is having he's having a hearing, a congressional hearing here in the Houston area. The congressional hearing will be at Fountain Life Center, 14083 South Main Street, Houston, Texas, 77035. Congressman Green is hosting this, and the hearing is going to be on about the barriers to consumer credit, home ownership, and financial inclusion. He's going to have several Congress people there. William Lacey Clay, who's one of the ranking members on the Financial Services Subcommittee. He also going to have Emmanuel Cleaver. He will be there also. He will also have Gregory Meeks out of New York, and Rashida Tlaib out of Michigan will be there. So they will be there talking about and examining discrimination and other barriers to consumer credit, homeownership, and financial inclusion. And this will start at 10 o'clock tomorrow, a.m., the first panel. Then he will have a second panel. The first panel will basically be talking about the discrimination. The second panel will be talking about financial institutions, low to moderate income communities, how do we get people included, community development. All of those are going to be done on the second panel. The second panel starts at 1. The first panel starts at 10 o'clock. I am highly recommending that you go to this event if you're concerned about home ownership, and if you're off that day, it might be an opportunity. If you are a realtor or a mortgage lender and you're in the housing industry as a whole, nonprofit, Community Redevelopment Corporation, CDC, Community Development Corporation, you might want to come to this event. Once again, it will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. at Fountain Life Center, 14083 South Main Street, Houston, Texas, zip code 77035. And the first panel starts at 10 a.m., second panel at 1 p.m., and they will have a press conference at 4 o'clock. All of these are Central Times. And this will give you an opportunity, if you've not met Congressman Al Green, who surely has been a champion in home ownership, the ranking member William Clay, Lacey Clay, Emmanuel Cleaver, and Gregory Meeks, and Rashida Tlaib. The numbers here again, 281-837-2222, 281-837-2222. Give me a call. All our lines are open. And so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with the Real Estate Corner. And I'm going to come back and we're going to get into the value of home ownership. Why, Shad, are you so pro home ownership? And I'm going to share this with you when you get back, when we come back from the break, on why, not because I'm in the industry. It was because something I was taught at an early age how important it was. We're going to take a quick break, be right back with the Real Estate Corner. Thinking about buying or selling, real estate can be a very complicated process. Finding one, how much can you afford? Get survey, put a home on the market, review the net sheets, taxes, advice on financing, homestead exemptions, advice on insurance, what kind of mortgage, inspections, considering offers, negotiations, submitting an offer, how good are the schools, down payment assistance, title insurance, home warranties, closing costs, final walkthrough. These are the pieces of the puzzle of home ownership. I'm the person who helps put it together and the glue that keeps it together. Give me a call, Shad Bogany. Thank you, Jermaine. Welcome back to the Real Estate Corner. My name is Shad Bogany. I'm host of the Real Estate Corner. It's your first time listening to this show. We've been on the air now 29 years preaching the gospel of real estate. Our numbers here are 281-837-2222. That's 281-837-2222. Give us a call. If it's your first time listening to this show, you can catch us on Saturday morning on Iconic TV 15.10. You can get us on that channel, watch us Saturday morning at 9. Also, catch us on Sunday evening at 8 p.m. And I know you guys are watching. I'm amazed of the people who call me from the TV side of the Real Estate Corner. It just amazed me that we're getting calls and people are reaching out to us and asking us questions, talking to us about listing their home, selling their home. The numbers here again are 281-837-2222. The value of home ownership. Why this is important to me is not just because I am a realtor. I bought my first home when I was 18. My parents, my dad specifically encouraged me to get into home ownership as soon as I could. And he explained to me that it's where wealth starts. Everything starts. He says anybody who's made money doing something else, they all put it in real estate. So that was instilled to me. So I'm not just telling you, and I wasn't a realtor then, so I'm not just sharing with you something because I want you guys to buy a house for me. I hope that you would, but I couldn't handle all the business if you did. But I know if you want it done right, you're going to at least give me a call. So let's talk about the value of home ownership. Home ownership is synonymous with the American dream. However, housing affordability has taken on a different perspective here in the city of Houston and across this country. Would you believe that home prices have risen from almost 44% over the last 6 years? Yeah, you heard me right. So if you had bought a house 6 years ago for $100,000, now it's worth $44,000 more. I just sold a house the other day. People bought it a year ago and they just sold it for almost over $50,000 in a year. Yes, in a year. That's how much money they made on that home sale. And so, is it a good investment? Is it? Yes, it is. Is it a place for you to build wealth? Yes, it is. But the value of home ownership, it has been shown that kids do better in school. People who parents owned a home, when they become adults, they make more money than those are renting. I was seeing a report the other day that the net worth in home ownership and rental is about 45 times more in home ownership than rental in net worth. It is important. Unacceptably low, very low term, when I say unacceptably low, but I guess what I want to say is that home ownership in the minority community is unacceptable. And as I get older and begin to get these senior moments, I'm having to repeat myself, but I just wanted to share that with you. It is unacceptable of what we've got going on in our community. As I said last week, we've got to make home ownership cool. We've got to start talking to our kids. You need to own a home. And a lot of the millennials out there, their parents did go through the downturn. And they saw what it did to the family on that end. And so some of them are a little skittish about getting into home ownership. But if you had bought a house 6 years ago, home prices have gone up 44% than what you bought 6 years ago. And a lot of that depends on schools, what's happening in your neighborhood if they're building new homes. Currently in the United States, home ownership is at 64.2%. White home ownership, not Hispanic, 73.2%. Home ownership in the black community, 41.2%, and then it slid in the city of Houston down to 40%. Asian Pacific Islanders across the country, 56.9%. Hispanics and any other race at 47.4%. Guys, it's got to be something wrong when we're at the same rate of home ownership than we were in 1968. In our community. Is it not that it's not important? Is it more important for us to drive a car that depreciates? Or is it even more important that the lenders are willing to give us a car loan but won't give us a home loan? That's a question that we have to look at. When I sit here and tell you that Prosperity Bank has the best loan program out there, they really do. 600 credit score, 100% financing, no MI, mortgage insurance, knocks off about $200 on your monthly payment. But it doesn't fit everybody because it is income limits and home price limits on that end. We've got to determine what's important. Over the years, FHA led in housing discrimination. They told the appraisers if it was in a black neighborhood, you need to lower the value. Over the years, we could not live out in the suburbs. And when housing discrimination was going on, and the Supreme Court in the early 20th century said, hey, you can't discriminate against people in housing, they came up with zoning codes to keep you from buying, deed restrictions. Well, we don't want any black people in this neighborhood, or Hispanics or horses or any of that. They had us in that category in that end. So we've got to overcome a whole lot to come in for homeownership. So we were set back. But even over time, a lot of the farmers own land. Now they don't even own the land that they used to own. We've lost lots of land over the years because we did not convey property. We didn't have a will. We had so many children and we didn't properly set it up to be conveyed. And a lot of that had to do with education. A lot of that had to deal with knowing, or somebody telling you, hey, this is how it's supposed to be done. And so we've had to overcome a lot, but it is no reason for us to be at 40% of home ownership in this city. It makes no sense to me. There's really no single solution to this issue. I'm going to give you some facts today, but it's really no single solution to this. I've found out here that I have people who look just like me who are willing to discriminate against low-income housing, affordability, because they bought into the myth that this brings your property value down. Why are we helping these people? I did it on my own. Does it sound familiar? There's no single solution. I've even seen with the local housing agencies where the people who are running these agencies discriminate, maybe be judging people because you need this money, I'm going to treat you this way, or take it through a whole bunch of hoops to get this money. And then at the end, the money goes back to the federal government so some other state is able to take advantage of it. And so it's a complete deal. We don't have a comprehensive plan to increase home ownership here for first-time home buyers. If there's a program out there for Section 8 home ownership where we move people from Section 8 vouchers into home ownership. And we don't see that a lot anymore because it's tough. The institutions don't want to count the voucher income. Then we get over, after we get the voucher income, then if we jump over that hoop and able to move forward, then we have issues, guys, with the people that are in charge of these funds holding it so tightly so we can't get it. You know, all sorts of things going on out there. You know, I heard the other day that with Harvey victims, if you had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house and now you're single and your house got destroyed, they're only allowing you to build a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. What kind of stuff is this? So we're having some issues out there. These are the priorities: advancing local policy solutions, tackling home supply constraints and affordability. Everybody's not going to be able to get a 2-story, 2,400 square feet home, separate shower and tub. We've got to determine what's most important to us. Is it buying our first home, staying in it a while, and then moving up, and then turning that into a rental property? Promoting equitable and accessible housing finance system. We need to make, FHA needs to be more affordable. This student loan debt is tremendous. It is keeping a lot of you from buying houses. And as I shared here, no better time than to get your student loan refinanced when interest rates are too low. If your student loan is currently in deferred, won't you get it out of deferred and base it on the income that you have now, so you can be able to move forward? There's lots of challenges here. Encouraging mortgage-ready millennials. It's a lot of you guys who can afford a house. It's a lot of you guys got 700, 800 credit scores, but you're still renting. I can't figure it out why. I really can't. So it could be lifestyle. So if you decided that, hey, I want to be in a town apartment, I don't ever want to cut a yard. I just want to drive up and move in. That's all I want to do, and leave. I want to stay near downtown. Those are lifestyle situations there. Those are lifestyles. And so it's okay. Not everybody's a single family homeowner. You know, the millennials want smaller spaces. So maybe you buy a duplex and live in one side, or a condo or fourplex and live in one unit. Focusing on sustainable home ownership and preservation should be at the top of every politician. It should be at the top of every local politician. It should be at the top of everyone out there. We should be training our kids here now. Media. If you're in the media, you should be talking about it. If you're in the music entertainment, you should be singing the praises of House is Not a Home. Every song that you can put it integrated in. You've got, if you are a preacher or a pastor out there, you should be telling your people in your church that how important home ownership is. It is in the Bible because I've seen it, but you're not going to get me to quote where I saw it, but I did see it in the Bible. And some of you Bible people who study the Bible probably can call up and give me where it is in the Bible. I'm telling you, as a pastor, as a preacher, if you are out there, you have a stronger congregation when you have home ownership there. Schools, it's important in the schools. I'm going to share this with you. If your school is graded a D or an F, you are not going to have high prices in those areas. It's just not going to happen. So as consumers, we should pay attention to our schools. Even if we don't have any kids in the school, we should be paying attention on how well the school does. Maybe if you're a business person, maybe you need to go volunteer. We need to take a really hard look at our community. Remember the days where we had to sell M&Ms and little chocolate almonds for fundraisers? Now we got the kids out on the corners with football helmets and cheerleader suits and shaking the helmets and everything, begging. Guys, we've got some issues here, and it all starts with promoting home ownership in our community. Our schools don't have a lot of kids in them because you're in a transition area. So when you talked about gentrification and people move in, most of the people who gentrify in these neighborhoods, kids don't even go to these schools. And the reason they don't go to these schools is because they're graded low. Okay? So you've got to look at this whole big picture. We need local solutions. We do need local solutions. City of Houston has tried to come up with $30,000 grants to help first-time home buyers. Prosperity Bank has their program. Southeast Texas Housing Agency has their program. TSHAC, TDHCA has this program. But we've got to take advantage of these programs. 60% of you who are listening to me tonight do not own a home. 60% of you who are driving home and you're stuck on traffic on 610 or 45 or 59, south or north, or I-10 east or west, you're renting. We've got to be able to change this, and it starts early. Remember I said I bought my first house when I was 18. I was still in high school when I made that purchase, senior in high school. It was an opportunity that came before me, and I took advantage of it. And when I left and went to college, I rented that home out because I wasn't going to be there. And when I came back from college, I moved into that house. That house, when I sold it, allowed me to be able to open up Bogany Properties back in the day and became ERA Bogany Properties. Then eventually came over to Better Homes and Gardens, Gary Green. Guys, I'm sharing with you, homeownership is a beautiful thing. It really is. And the person who's maybe discouraging you from buying a home right now, maybe they don't own a home themselves. You know, maybe they don't. I find it hard to give advice when you're renting about home ownership. Maybe able to give good advice on rentals and how to get an apartment, how to handle the apartment, what are the best places to go for apartment. But I find it hard to give advice when you are renting to somebody who's trying to purchase a home. And for all those naysayers that out there saying, oh, just rent, you know, you just rent and rent and rent. What did you hear me say a few minutes ago? Since in 6 years, home prices have gone up 44%. How many of you had that kind of increase in your savings? How many kind of that nice BMW or that Range Rover, how many of them have gone up 44%? Probably depreciated 44%. And if it's 6 years old, it's probably 80, 90%. So I'm just sharing with you that there's a change that we've got to make, and we've got to look at it wholeheartedly as we move forward. The real estate of tomorrow, as we move forward, are probably going to be smaller units. We're probably going to see houses built with no garages to keep them affordable. As the builder cost has gone up, builders are struggling. Let me give you the numbers here, 281-837-2222. Before we take a break, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite title companies. That is Shirlene Clancy over at American Title. You need to give Shirlene a call. Her number is 713-784-0006. She's with American Title at 5802 Val Verde. So a lot of people are refinancing their homes. You get to pick the title company. Tell them, I'd like to use Shirlene Clancy over at American Title. Give Shirlene a call. Her number is 713-784-0006. Thinking about selling a property? God forbid, but you're doing it for sale by owner, thinking you're making more money? Have them go ahead and call Shirlene Clancy. Numbers again, 713-784-0006. Finna buy a piece of property from a family member. You still need to get a title policy. It is amazing to me, guys, how many people out there that still buy property without a title policy because it's a family member. Then years from now, or the neighbor next door, years from now, they find out when they get ready to sell it, person didn't have the title. Wow. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with the Real Estate Corner. My name is Shad Bogany. You can reach me at 713-667-1000. We're at Better Homes and Gardens, Gary Green, the #1 company in the city. And I'm in the Bel Air sales office. Call us. The Shad Bogany team is there. You can reach us at 713-667-1000. 713-667-1000. You can catch us on 96.9 FM. You can catch us on KWWJ 1360 AM every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15. We can't have a show unless you're calling and participating. If you've got any questions or statements, please call us at 281-837-2222, 281-837-2222. I'm going to come back. I'm going to give you some stats to show you how bad home ownership is in the African American community. Be right back. And don't forget to go to see Congressman Al Green do a congressional hearing on discrimination, inclusion in financing, credit. All of this is going to be put on the table tomorrow at 10 o'clock, right there at the corner of Hillcroft and South Main at the Light Center, Fountain of Life Center. Be right back with the Real Estate Corner. Thinking about buying or selling, real estate can be a very complicated process. Finding one, how much can you afford? Get survey, put a home on the market, review the net sheets, taxes, advice on financing, homestead exemptions, advice on insurance, what kind of mortgage, inspections, considering offers, negotiations, submitting an offer, how good are the schools, down payment assistance, title insurance, home warranties, closing costs, final walkthrough. These are the pieces of the puzzle of home ownership. I'm the person who helps put it together and the glue that keeps it together. Give me a call, Shad Bogany. Thank you, Jermaine. Welcome back to the Real Estate Corner. I'm your host, Shad Bogany. We've had a frank conversation. I need you to call in and give me your thoughts on home ownership, 281-837-2222. And if you've got some reasons you're renting, and share it with us. If you're someone who bought a home, share it with us why you did it and are you happy with it. The numbers are 281-837-2222. That's 281-837-2222. I'm going to give you some numbers that kind of shocked me as I was going through preparing for today's show. The current 30% gap between blacks and white home ownership is larger than it was in 1968 when housing discrimination was legal. Did you hear me? There's a 30% gap between black and white home ownership. And this is bigger than it was when it was legal to discriminate. This is what's so crazy about what I'm talking about. When I saw this, I knew at some point we need to talk about it. That is why Congressman Al Green is having his event tomorrow. It is important. We've got to make home ownership cool. We've got to start talking to our kids, making sure it's important to them, and understanding how to prepare to do it when they get ready to get it done. If black home ownership rate was the same as today as it was in 2000, America would have 770 additional black homeowners. Did you hear what I just said? Based on the home ownership rate in 2000, if it was the same, we'd have 770,000 black homeowners here in America. That meant that people would be buying services and goods, people would be buying manufactured products, people would be improving their houses, there would be people out there doing all the things that make the economy go. And the economy doesn't go unless people buying houses, guys. It is the key to the home ownership. You can build all the dishwashers and refrigerators and ACs that you want to build. But if it ain't anyone buying a house, it's no need for them. So I'm sharing with you, this is important. Home ownership is lower. Now this is something that really is going to blow you away. And I've talked a little bit about this in the past. Let me give the numbers out again. 281-837-2222. We've got a few minutes before we take the station ID break. But this is really awful for what I'm going to say. Home ownership is lower for black college graduates than white high school dropouts. Yes, people who don't finish high school have a higher home ownership rate than people with several degrees. And typically when you get a degree and that opportunity, you get that opportunity and you've been able to meet that goal, home ownership should go up in most other categories except our community. Home ownership should go because the more education you understand more why home ownership is so important. Because you know. And so when I started the show early and said, you know, maybe we didn't know, we were uneducated, we now have the education, we're still not buying homes. So tell me what the issue is. Now, I'm going to give you some thoughts of why I think it is. And by the way, if you want to know the percentages, 60.5% for white high school dropouts own homes, 56.4% for black college graduates. Unbelievable. And I know you guys are, and you want to know why it's sliding? Obviously somebody picked it up. Now, I can shoot holes in this theory. I'm going to throw one piece out there, and this piece is that if you got a college degree and you've got student loans, you've got that student loan debt, so that allows you not to buy. But if you high school dropouts, you don't have that student loan debt, but you stayed on your job a long time because you didn't go to school, so you have a little bit more income coming in because over time, you didn't have that student debt. So I could make a case for it, but it doesn't make sense from a standpoint that white college graduates are buying homes at a higher rate than we are. So they graduated. Some of them got student loans, but this goes back to the book, The Color of Law. Maybe their parents owned a home, and then after they owned this home, they used the equity in that home to send their kids to college. Now, if we didn't own a home, we didn't get that opportunity. That's another side of it. It is very complicated. But one thing that's totally correct about this assumption that's here is that we don't take home ownership that serious. We really don't. It's got to be cool, guys. That's why I'm saying When's the last time you picked up a local community newspaper that was African American and you saw anything in there about housing? Probably none. How many are advertising about housing? Well, you can't really blame them considering only 40% of you own homes. The majority of you are renting, so that's why they don't put home ownership. You can't say much about that. The Real Estate Corner has been on the air 29 years, and the whole goal of this show has been to always move the needle forward. And I feel like I'm slacking on my job because instead of moving forward, we've gone back. From the year 2000 when we were doing this show, more people own homes then than today. We got to take a station ID break and be right back with the Real Estate Corner. Thinking about buying or selling, real estate can be a very complicated process. Finding one, how much can you afford? Get survey, put a home on the market, review the net sheets, taxes, advice on financing, homestead exemptions, advice on insurance, what kind of mortgage, inspections, considering offers, negotiations, submitting an offer, how good are the schools, down payment assistance, title insurance, home warranties, closing costs, final walkthrough. These are the pieces of the puzzle of home ownership. I'm the person who helps put it together and the glue that keeps it together. Give me a call, Shad Bogany. Welcome back to the Real Estate Corner. You know, the number 4 topic I wanted to talk about is black borrowers are less likely to meet traditional credit standards necessary to qualify for a mortgage. And this is where I think financial institutions and the mortgage lending, one size does not fit all. Every culture handles their money differently. But we've grown up into a society where we try to fit everybody in. If I'm a person that does not believe in credit, because I pay cash for everything, I save until I'm able to get it, then what happens for me is that I don't have a credit score. You know, I've said on this show, a car loan does not make your credit score go up, but it will make it go down if you don't pay it on time. So why can't we use utilities, cell bills, cell phone bills, and the car payments, installment loans? Why can't we use those in judging our credit card? And how we pay our rent? Yeah, 60% of us pay our rent. Why can't we use that? Why that formula is not part of the credit score? Another question to ask yourself. I will tell you, that 30% gap, 21% of it has to do with credit between home ownership. And I've had a lender who told me, who didn't look like me, told me that underwriters do make decisions sometimes based on color. We don't get the benefit of the doubt. We don't get it. You know, CRA, why Community Reinvestment Act? Why are some institutions having to do extra because of Community Reinvestment Act? Because they're not putting money back into the community. So this is a fair thing that we're in a situation where people are pulling money out of the community and not putting it back. We've got to hold everyone accountable, from the politicians to our local state government, all the way up to the mayor, to our congresspeople. You got to hold it. But most importantly is what's going on here locally. That's what's important. The governorship, the 2 senators that we have, you've got to be able to show your power and show them that if you're not doing something to help me with student loan debt, you're not doing something to keep my insurance low, if you're not doing something to keep my property tax low, then I've got to make a decision. Stop living in a world. Stop living in a world that you are being taxed without representation. You really are. Because if you're not paying attention to what's going on in the community, 17% of the black-white home ownership gap can't be explained. People have identified a few factors, but really you can't explain why. You know, Some people don't believe they can ever own a home, but they can. You've got to be willing to do it. And it may be a priority. May driving that Land Rover is more important to you that everybody sees than the person who lives next door and only see where you live. Going into an apartment complex, seeing a bunch of, and I pick on Land Rovers, but it could be Cadillacs, it could be BMWs, it could be any of them. Imagine driving into an apartment complex and everybody got really nice cars. The whole world sees you in that Mercedes, but only your next door neighbor see where you live. What's important to you? Is your legacy leaving something to your kids when you're gone? Being able to convey property to them, to give them an opportunity to have money that they don't have to go get a student loan, or being able to have a reverse mortgage where you got this house and your house rich and money poor, or your roof is caving in, you need to fix it, but if you got equity, you'll be able to do that with in a home. You can't do that in a rental place. I'm having a very frank conversation with you. The numbers again, 281-837-2222, 281-837-2222, 281-837-2222. My name is Shad Bogany. You're listening to The Real Estate Corner. We're real here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15. Guys, I'm tired of being tired to see us where we are in home ownership. And as I said, I want you to buy a house. You don't buy it from me, buy it from somebody. Make a good decision. Make a financial decision. What's best for your family. Okay? And I've said this privately to some of my friends. We'll buy some name brand tennis shoes, but we won't pay for a tutor. It's priorities. We've got to make a decision what's important to us out here in the marketplace. Everybody else understands home ownership. My young African Americans, when I say, hey, let's live in Fifth Ward, I don't want to live over there. No, I want to live in the ghetto. No, I want to be there. I want to be out in Sugar Land. We at some point had to determine where all these other people are moving into Fifth Ward because they understand the concept of wealth building. They understand it. Why would you want to rent from somebody and send their kids to college and to Europe and let them take long vacations and you constantly renting? Is convenience that important to you? Is it that important to you? We've got to make some hard decisions out here. We really do. Home ownership is important. To me it is, and it's always been important. That's why I told you my story. And my story was that I bought my first house when I was 18. In high school. I understood it because it was instilled in me by my dad that you need to buy something. And I got that opportunity. We've got a few more minutes left in the show. Let me give the numbers out again, 281-837-2222. Now I'm going to talk to you another little thing, housing and housing finance, and I just wanted to share this with you. Even where we are the majority in the city, we are not over 50% in home ownership. Did you hear me? Even in the cities where it's the majority of African American people living in that city, we're still under the home ownership deal. We're still below everybody else. Something's wrong here, guys. Something's wrong here. So let's look at the widest and smallest home ownership gaps. If you lived in Minnesota, the white home ownership rate is 75%. The black home ownership, which is the largest, 25% in Minnesota. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Albany, New York, 68%, 20% home ownership, 48% gap. Buffalo, New York, 44% gap between white and black. Salisbury, Maryland, 82%, 43% home ownership gap. Bridgeport, Connecticut, 76% white home ownership, 34% or 42% home ownership gap. Unbelievable to me that the gap is that wide. We're making money. We're buying cars. We're consumers. Our people are consumers. We're just consuming the wrong doggone things. We're not building any wealth. Just not doing it. So let's look at where the smallest gaps are. Gonna surprise you a little bit. Killeen, Texas has the smallest gap of all, 14.5% between black home ownership and white home ownership. Now, I'm going to tell you my theory behind that, because, you know, I'm going to poke a little hole here. It's because you got military. Military. Killeen's a military town. So that is the closest gap, smallest gap. Fayette, North Carolina, 17%. Charleston, South Carolina, 18% gap. Austin made the list, 21%. And Austin's pretty expensive. You'll notice there are no cities from California on this list, which is very expensive. Somebody gets it. Augusta, Georgia, 21%. So, the deal is that I think is really telling is that if the community is majority of black, they're still below home ownership of the whites that live in that community. That's telling. That's telling. All this information. Oh, and this is where I say it may be a culture thing. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I really don't know. Or I'm just looking at the numbers. I'm just looking at the big data. Check this out. 40% of black immigrants are homeowners versus 64% of American overall. When compared with all U.S. immigrants, foreign black people are less likely to own a home. So it doesn't start just here. So you can't say it was slavery. You can't say it was the way we were brought up. You can't say any of that because the foreigners are not here. They come that are black and they're renting. So that tells me there's something else to this story. And this is all according to Pew Research out there. Guys, it's got to be something. We've got to change it. We've got to change it. I want to thank Pastor Bishop Dixon. He's taken the mantle, the shield, and the sword, and said he's going to change it in his community. Reverend Pastor Cardwell out at Windsor Village he's done something bigger than anybody's done in the spiritual world of building Corinthian Point, and go over there. So there are some outliers, some people who really said, you know, I'm going to make a change here, and they've done some things to change it around, but it's not enough. It's not enough. And the last thing that I will leave you with tonight, you want your home values to be up. You want your neighborhoods to be up. Two things you need to do. You need to watch your schools. I've said over and over again, most minority schools grade out as a D or an F. If it's a high minority population at that school, it's a D or an F. Something's wrong with that. And then you want to know why the values are low in your neighborhood. You want to know why nobody wants to live in that neighborhood, which hurts your investment that you have. You got to be in a neighborhood that everybody wants to live there, and the only way that's going to be is through education and make sure your schools are up. The other issue that we're running all of these charter schools. Have you guys not looked at how charter schools are grading now? Go to the HoustonChronicle.com, look up schools, and look up charter schools. Everybody's running from Willow Ridge. Everybody's running from Marshall. Everybody's running from Yates and Wheatley. We're putting them in charter schools. They're not grading too much better. So I don't see the point of not growing that neighborhood and keeping the kids in that particular neighborhood. Last thing that I'm going to say that's important, and I say this wholeheartedly. The 2020 census is coming up. We need to be counted. You want grocery stores in your neighborhood? Need to be counted. Infrastructure, schools, all of the stuff that goes on in the community. The 2020 census is your key to improving your neighborhood because it tells how many people live in the neighborhood. And it's just, guys, I can't say anything else. It's about schools. It's about being counted. You can't say, hey, I need a HEB out here if they don't know what the population is. I need more commercial businesses. I need more restaurants. They've got to know the count. So everybody out in our community, you need to be counted. That's all I got to say in regards to that. You've got to be counted. Guys, I'll see you next week. on the Real Estate Corner. I thank you for taking the time and listening to me. If you have any questions, you can always email me at shad, S-H-A-D, @bogany.com, or you can call me at 713-667-1000, the Shad Bogany Team. Go out and visit our website. If you find a better website than the shadboganyteam.com, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. Come out and see us. Go to our website. See you next week on the Real Estate Corner. My name is Shad Bogany, host of the Real Estate Corner, and we are the granddaddy radio show of them all here in Houston when it comes to real estate. See you next week. Thinking about buying or selling, real estate can be a very complicated process. Finding one, how much can you afford? Get survey, put a home on the market, review the net sheets, taxes, advice on financing, homestead exemptions, advice on insurance, what kind of mortgage, inspections, considering offers, negotiations, submitting an offer, how good are the schools, down payment assistance, title insurance, home warranties, closing costs, final walkthrough. These are the pieces of the puzzle of home ownership. I'm the person who helps put it together and the glue that keeps it together. Give me a call, Shad Bogany.